Hillary Clinton is coming out of the corner swinging, attacking CEOs, hedge fund managers, the richest 1 or 2% of the American population. All of this at a recent campaign event in this first week of her run for the presidency. Take a look at this video of her remarks.
I think it's fair to say that as you look across the country, the deck is still stacked in favor of those already at the top. And there's something wrong with that. There's something wrong when CEOs make 300 times more than the typical worker. There's something wrong when American workers keep getting more productive, as they have, and as I just saw a few minutes ago, is very possible because of education and skills training, but that productivity is not matched in their paychecks. And there's something wrong when hedge fund managers pay lower tax rates than nurses or the truckers that I saw on I-80 as I was driving here over the last 2 days. And there's something wrong when students and their families have to go deeply into debt to be able to get the education and skills they need in order to make the best of their own lives.
Yeah. Fox News is now feverishly fact-checking if there were indeed truckers on I-80 when she was driving to that campaign event. And so, look, initial reaction, that seems very positive. I think this is going to play very well. It's part of her apparent, not even apparent, I mean, people in her campaign have made clear that she's attempting to show that she is more of a regular person than she was in her last run for the presidency.
Well, you know, Hillary Clinton's, they say she doesn't have a primary opponent, she doesn't have a general election opponent. Hillary Clinton's opponent in this election, as it will be from this day forward, is Hillary Clinton of 2007, 2008. Mm-hmm. She has to be better than that person is in order, that person was in order to win. Already, I think in 2 days, of course you can't judge anything in 2 days, but you can say, hey, good start. You know, baseball season started.
You're referring to
week.
this and Citizens United.
Yeah, exactly. And what she said about Citizens United, and that's what you're referring to, right? Where she said she would be in favor of constitutional amendment to roll back Citizens United. But just even her presentation and even the way she's talking about this, marvelously done, I think. Mm-hmm. And Democrats also have to remember that you can criticize. You can take money from CEOs, and you can take money because that's the way the game is played, and you can also criticize income inequality in this country, and that is not hypocrisy. Under these rules, it would be hypocrisy if campaign finance was not, as out of control as it is.
Yeah, so it's not hypocrisy to take the money from them and then to regulate them. I think the fear, and I'm gonna play, I guess this is even devil's advocate, because I think a lot of liberals are going to respond this way. The fear is that she's not going to do both of those things.
Course.
She's going to criticize them, but not regulate them.
Well, that's rightly the fear.
Yeah.
But she's going to have to walk some kind of a walk. But I think, she's standing for president, so she's saying these things, and she has to be, judged on that. Do you believe that she's going to do that? Some people will, and some people won't. And some skeptics will say, I don't think she will, but I'll give her a chance. That's what she's going after. She's going after those people.
Yeah, and of course we have to recognize that she's much more likely to regulate Wall Street, all the groups that she mentioned, than whoever it is that ends up going against her on the Republican side. But I was initially very, very skeptical, because this is exactly what I've wanted her and other candidates to say. It does sound much more like certainly an Elizabeth Warren to some extent, and so that's what I want to hear. And so I decided to go back and to do some research into the actual votes that she's made when it comes to these sorts of regulations. And I have some information. She voted for Sarbanes-Oxley in the wake of Enron and all that, some additional regulations in terms of malpractice in financial accounting and things like that. But she voted for bank bailouts while speaking out against them. Didn't vote in the bankruptcy reform bill of 2005. She was in the hospital with Bill Clinton at that time. They overall voted in line with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, I should say, 46% of the time.
That was a great Freudian slip.
Exactly, Congress. She was in Congress, I guess. She called for a freeze on foreclosures in 2007. And she does receive something like $200,000 a pop for speeches to Wall Street firms. Now, almost anyone is going to take that money if that money is offered to them.
Right.
But she has been making quite a bit of money off of them.
Taking money from Wall Street is what people want to have happen.
Yeah, and look, almost every candidate does. But if we can bring up this chart of her top lifetime campaign contributors, you do see 4, I think, out of the top 6 are their Wall Street firms. Now, overall, what is $700,000 out of the hundreds of millions of dollars she will need to raise if she wants to win the presidency? Perhaps not much. But this is why I think a lot of people are skeptical, and it's going to take more than a couple of speeches over the first week. It's going to take a sustained campaign to prove that her somewhat checkered past, I think it's honest to say that. She's sometimes spoken out in favor of consumers, spoken out against Wall Street, and other times she has voted in favor of them. She's, again, certainly going to be more favorable in her positions towards Wall Street.
And that list, by the way, would be mirrored by everybody we've had run for president
Probably.
in a very long time. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Maybe not a Barney,
run for president.
Run for president. Although he's made some indication that he might.
Right, but he's taken money from banks. You know, that's the way it is. And that's why Wolfpack exists, and that's why people want to talk about rolling this stuff back to change the rules. Because as long as if you need money, you go where the money is, right? What do they say? If you rob who is it? Why do you rob the bank? Because that's where the money is. You know, it's the same thing. You know, so I'm a little more forgiving maybe than some because that's the only way you get it. And they've changed the calculus of that. Barack Obama changed it a lot. I said calculus again, but Barack Obama changed it again in 2008 by raising these small donations. Howard Dean did the same thing when he ran for president. But you still need the big ones.
Yeah, but I do think in response to that, I think the change that is going to make people scared of what Hillary is saying now is Barack Obama also made incredibly big promises in his demeanor, in his tone, in his rhetoric, that his policies in some cases, but not in every case, couldn't live up to in terms of how strong of a progressive he would be. And so I think some people are sort of once bitten, twice shy when it comes to the new Hillary Clinton, who is pitching herself very differently than she did in 2007, 2008. We're going to have to see, not just on the Wall Street front, but when it comes to foreign policy. Is she going to be a warmer, more cuddly Hillary Clinton, or is she going to be the typically more hawkish Hillary Clinton that she was of years past? I think
she's a grandmother now, John.
Exactly. How could she want to invade someone?
She's a grandmother.
We'll have to see.